Well, that was a bit of a shock. I would have thought since the ASOL CGU launched only but a month ago, we wouldn't see anything else new in League till April at least. But here we are, the first new champion of the year has been revealed, Milio. I say revealed like we haven't already known what his name is for months, but whatever. And with an even more shocking twist, his reveal wasn't really much of one. No big cinematic or even a gameplay trailer. His bio, theme, and concept art were just dropped almost randomly. I think maybe they're trying to redo the whole Zeri Neon thing, releasing two supportive Latino-inspired characters that summon little goobers at the same time in two different games.
I don't know.
Regardless, he's here, and how do I feel about him? Well, this is a very gut reaction, first impression style video, since like I said, we don't even know what he plays like yet. We know he's our first support since Renata, our first enchanter since Renata, and our first ever male enchanter because Taric and Rakan don't count, I guess. He'll probably have some kind of ricochet move, a buff, or a shield as is common with enchanter supports, but what's really important to me about this champion is what he provides to the universe of Runeterra. He's our first Ixtal champion in nearly 4 years, meaning we have 7 champions in total for the region now. Only 2 if you exclude the other 5 that were shoehorned into it. And while we know enough about this character to make a first impression like this, we don't know everything, but hey, at least he has lore, right? Thanks to Milio's bio and the new Yorick Alawi short story on Riot Forge, we've had more lore in the past 6 days than we've had the past 6 months. Do you understand how painful of a sentence that is to say out loud? Milio's story isn't anything too special, but for those who cannot fathom the idea of consuming information via text on a screen, here's a short summary of his bio. Twin sisters Lupe and Lune proved their elemental mastery of Earth and Fire respectively and joined the Yuntal, basically Ixtal's version of the Jedi Council. But Lune got caught plotting against the Yuntal, and both suffered punishment as a result. Lupe was exiled to the farthest reaches of Ixtal, while Lune was imprisoned. Years pass, and now old Lupe is grandmother to young Milio. She does her best to teach him and her other grandchildren the ways of the elemental axioms, but none show much promise. Milio in particular struggled with discipline and developed an interest in the one axiom Lupe refused to teach: fire. Milio would pursue his interest in the fire axiom on his own until one day happening upon an injured villager. In his attempt to save her life, he discovered something within her, within himself. The inner flame, he called it. Basically the soul.
Your soul is mine.
Focusing in on all his energy, it manifested a small creature he dubs a Fumigo, now able to heal the villager using this new power, the Soothing Fire. While initially disapproving his fascination with fire, Lupe realized mastering an axiom at this young of an age was quite the marvel and could be their family's one shot at redemption, to rejoin the Yuntal once again. With this mission, Milio and Lupe crafted a special backpack called his Fernacita, which he could use to carry his Fumigos with him as he set on an adventure to reach the capital of Ixtal, Ixal Khan.
Now he travels to Ixal Khan.
Ixal Khan.
His journey to Ixal Khan.
Ixal Khan.
The region of Ixtal and Aizaokan.
Ixal Khan.
Now begins his adventure. Through trials and tribulations, Milio must cross the perilous wilds of the jungle to reach his destination. Who knows what kinds of friends and dangers he'll encounter along the way, or if he'll even make it at all. Only time will tell. What? He already made it, you say? His adventure only lasted a single paragraph, you say? I say that's
Lying.
well, he's in Ixal Khan now, training to face the Vidalian's trials and rejoin the Yuntal to make his family proud. I'm not gonna lie, the story's a little bland. It feels more like the narrative is leaving room open for other stories to have happened or happen in the future rather than focusing on the one that's happening right now. Tales of his training in Ixal Khan and his encounters along his adventure are passed off like that's not the meat of what would be most interesting about his journey. Admittedly, that latter part is going to be explored a little bit. With his bio, it was also revealed along his adventure he's been writing letters back to his family, filling them in on the goings-on of his voyage. How he's sending letters to people in the middle of the jungle,
I don't know.
it's through these letters that we learn a bit more about his personality, and if he didn't already look the part, dude's just a sweet as hell, wholesome little family guy. Excited and energetic, but not to the point of annoying like so many other child characters in fiction, obviously cares about each and every one of his family members beyond just Lupe, and kind-hearted as can be to strangers of all walks of life. And while we only have one letter at the point of me writing this script, it is confirmed on the website that we will get at the very least 4 more. Not only that, each letter is accompanied by an additional picture, assumingly representing the events of the letter. We can see his first one depicts him leaving the village, the second one is him meeting Nidalee, her tribe of Paka, and of course, Roderick Heffley. The third is what I assume to be him providing some cozy warmth to some folks in need. The fourth I interpret as him encountering Nico, as well as maybe Zyra with those vines, and potentially Malphite if those lines on the mountain are meant to be eyes. I mean, if you squint really hard, you can even see Chip in the background. And the fifth is him finally arriving in Ixal Khan, ready to take on the trials of the Vidalian that lie ahead. But like I said, his story has more room to grow than is actually on display for us to enjoy right now. And while I'm not opposed to this style of storytelling, the expectation of this strategy is that the narrative will actually actually move forward on a consistent basis. But this is Riot Games we're talking about. It took them 4 years to even remember this region exists. What hope do I have for Milio's story progressing forward? One thing I will say though, please Riot, above any other Ixtali champion, let him have some kind of interaction with Kiana. We all know Kiana has ego leaking out her ears. If she discovered not only had someone mastered the fire axiom even better than she did, to the point where they unlocked a whole new side of it, and they were twice as young as she is, I despise Kiana as a character, and to see her mauled over being upstaged by a literal 12-year-old, that would make me pretty happy. There's another thing that makes me happy. His design. Milio is meant to portray a side of fire that rarely sees representation in media: life. Most often, fire represents death, evil, destruction incarnate. Hell! Forest fires are often a pinnacle example of this. However, when we think of forest fires, we often think of the wildly out of control ones we've caused through completely not idiotic means.
A gender reveal party sparked this massive blaze that's still burning.
But natural forest fires are an essential part of the ecosystem, removing the dead foliage and providing a gateway for a new life to emerge. In this context, fire is a force of energy, life, and rebirth. You know the phoenix? Not to mention for us, we use fire to cook our food, warm our homes, and make funny internet videos. And to that end, Milio representing this side of fire and being a child also provides League itself with some nice contrast, because we now have two fire-based child characters, with Milio and Annie. But one represents the evil side of fire, fueled by trauma, powered by rage, and destroying all it comes into contact with, while the other represents the good side, fueled by warmth, powered by kindness, and providing life to everything it touches. This is also shown in their color schemes. I'll be using Legends of Runeterra Annie because, well, I mean, look at Lee's Annie. But see how she's composed of incredibly vibrant reds mixed with blacks and grays, colors often associated with evil and anger. Milio, on the other hand, is a nice blend of cooler reds, greens, and golds, colors associated with life, passion, and love. I mean, really, if you wanted any further proof, just look at their familiars. Annie's is a giant raging bear monster with the soul of a demon, while Milio's are cute little fiery blobby slime rancher copyright infringements. I don't have much else to say about Milio since this is technically a first impression, but so far, I feel pretty positive about him. I think his story has room to grow, but hopefully the letters will help solve that issue. His story is delightfully whimsical, reminds me very much of recent Disney Pixar movies, and I mean, one of his cousins is named Luca, and Reeve directly confirmed they were inspired by Encanto when designing him, so that checks out. That's all from me though, fellas. What do you think of Milio so far? Do you like him? Do you not? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. I probably won't talk about him again in a video until the end of the year with the Season 2023 Rewind, but let me know if you like this kind of video, giving my initial first impressions on a champion, or waiting until their official release like I did with Udyr and Mundo, especially since I didn't really get to talk about their gameplay, which looks really fun by the way. Until next time though, fellas, I'll see you in the next video.